Here we are, Jamestown Upper Elementary. We made it. 2020-2021 school year was an interesting one. From the start to school to not knowing whether or not we would even be here, whether or not we were going to go every other day, how was it going to be to wear masks, how were we going to keep everything clean, how were we going to do lunch or recess and all of those things, to a time where we were away for remote learning, having to quarantine students, people being out of school, school being shut down, coming back to school, and then finishing the year the absolute best that we could with as many activities as we possibly could. We made it together. I think it was hard. A lot of things about this year were hard, and that's okay to say. It was hard to wear a mask every day. It was hard for our teachers to do so much of the cleaning and our staff to not be able to do some of the things, grouping of students and changing of seats. It's hard for our students to not enjoy some of the things maybe they enjoyed in the past a couple of years ago. But you learn a lot about yourself during hard times. You learn a lot about your ability to persevere and to persist and be resilient. So while both things can be true, it can be really hard, and we can also learn a lot about ourselves in that same vein. As we head into fifth grade graduation, fifth grade recognition today, I'm going to share some words that I'd like to just share with everybody else. And it just has kind of hit me with my daughter graduating this year, high school, and attending these different graduation and end of the year events. You know, I really think what our world needs more of is something that our world doesn't value. So if you go to a graduation, what you're going to hear is who's the smartest, who's the most athletic. When you look on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, you're going to see who's the smartest, who's the prettiest, all of those things. I just would argue that our world doesn't need any more smart people. I think we have plenty. I don't know if we need more pretty people. I don't even know if we need more rich people. I don't know if we need more successful people. But, you know, I would love that if at these graduation ceremonies, there was a best listener award. Which student, which person, which one in your class, a lot of you probably know who that is the absolute best listener that doesn't interrupt, that is not trying to tell you about themselves, that is just truly trying to listen to somebody else. Who's the kindest? The kindest award. Who's the kindest person? If you had to choose to be someone around someone who you just thought was super nice and super kind, who is that person? Who is the humblest person? Who is the person that never brags? Who's the person that just kind of takes things in stride and is always thinking about others and not trying to promote themselves? And then last, who's the person that has the greatest impact on others? You know, a lot of what I think we should be judged by in this world is how well we impact other people. So if it was my graduation ceremony, those are the kind of things that I think I would reward versus some of those other things that we reward instead. And so as you head off into the summer, try to think about some of those things. Try to think about as you go through the course of the summer, you're the students and the people that can really make some of those changes. And like I said, if I could take the adding a smartest person in the world to adding a kinder person into the way our world is right now, I would take kinder. And if I had to take adding the prettiest person in the world to taking the best listener, I'd take a bunch of best listeners because I think that allows us to continue to grow and allows us to continue to get better. So a huge thank you to our staff, all of our staff, from our support staff to our teachers. The things that they were asked to do are things that they never thought that they would do. They didn't get into education to do some of the things that they had to do, yet they did absolutely what was best for students and continue to try to do that even through really challenging times. But at the end of this year, I'm just proud of what all of our Jamestown staff and students have accomplished, coming to school so often, being here, and going through all the tough times and adversity that we had to go through together. And as you head off into the summer, I hope our COVID world gets a little bit better. And by the time we head back to school, maybe things look and sound a little bit different than the things we had for this year. Thanks for everything, staff. Thanks for everything, students. Let's make this a great final day, and then we head off into summer.